For over 3 decades, the Mazda MX-5 Miata has been regarded as one of, if not the best driver's cars you can have on a tight budget. And for the most part, I agree. Its miles per gallon rating is off the charts, especially if you snatched up one of the plentiful early models prior to the recent surge in used car values. That said, it wasn't until the 2019 ND2 generation was released that I felt the MX-5 was finally given an engine worthy of its chassis. The first generation NA was especially underpowered. But what happens when you take a 97 NA 1.8 liter, completely revamp the suspension, brakes, and drivetrain, and then install a turbocharger to nearly double the output to almost 200 wheel horsepower? Let's just say this Miata is no longer just a fun weekend convertible. It's been transformed into something truly special.
So today we have a familiar face on the channel. This is my good friend Sean. This is his 1997 Mazda Miata NA 1.8 liter. This is a car that I have driven many times since Sean bought it. Like, when did you get it? Like 2015 or something?
Yeah.
This car was basically stock with a couple of just cheapo like cosmetic mods on it when he bought it. But now, obviously it's really far from stock. I drove this car in the canyons when you first bought it and you barely knew how to drive stick.
Yep.
And then I've tracked it a couple of times when it was naturally aspirated. And I spun it once at Thunderhill West because no ABS. And now Sean has taken it to a completely new level. So walk me through what you've done to it.
Since you've driven it last, we've added a Flyin Miata turbo. We're making about 200 wheel horsepower. And we've added StopTech 42 front brakes, 300mm rotors, a little bit of aero, nothing too crazy. And have you driven it with the current suspension, the Super Miata?
This is not the Zetas?
This is the Zetas, yeah.
Oh yeah, then I have. Okay, so 200 wheel horsepower, that's quite a bit for a car that weighs, what, like 2,200?
2,300 with a half tank of gas.
Half tank of gas, okay. What was the original horsepower rating of this car?
Probably about 120.
120, so very close to double the wheel horsepower and definitely double the wheel torque, I think.
Yep.
You said like 170 foot-pounds, 180 foot-pounds?
Around there.
Okay. How much did it cost to actually do the Super Miata turbo kit, just for the viewers out there?
I think about $5,000.
$5,000, and you did everything yourself?
Yeah.
So all the parts were $5,000?
Yeah.
Got it. Well, let's see how big of a difference that makes. That's a lot more power than I remember it having. The engine sound is definitely a little muted compared to before. The turbo really muffles the exhaust sound, as you mentioned. Woo! Yeah, the power delivery is fun, to say the least, but you can tell when I clutch in an upshift and get back on the power almost immediately, it takes a second for that turbo to re-spool up. So it does give me that sort of power, shift, weight, and then like it's a very binary feeling, if that makes sense. Not like a naturally aspirated car where you're just shift as fast as you can and the power just keeps going and there's almost no torque dip at all. Oh, these brakes feel real good. Very progressive pedal feel. It's not overly sensitive at the top of the pedal. What pads are they?
PFC 11. I like low bite pads.
Okay, these pads are really nice. You also did a power steering delete, right?
Yep. So tired of power steering fluid overheating, getting everywhere.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, it feels a lot better now without the assist.
It's very direct.
Yeah, very direct. You feel everything through the wheel. I feel the front tires shimming around when I brake, actually. Lots of mid-corner grip. What are these, the Hankook RS4s?
Yep, 225 square.
It's a really good street tire. They're decent on the track. They are intended to be a track day tire, but I actually prefer these on the street. The Miata just loves the tight corners, the hairpins. The turbo really transforms this car. I remember when I tracked this thing at Thunderhill and Button Willow, my main impressions were, needs way more power, really good handling, and holy shit, no ABS. Now, the power part is completely fixed. Honestly, this car feels so well sorted now. You know, I'm just driving at 710s in the canyons, but still, it feels really confidence inspiring. Like, seriously, you've transformed this car from, you know, a beater Miata into something seriously hardcore, but not hardcore in a almost like undrivable way. Like, this is actually pretty good in the canyons. I was expecting it to feel less compliant. The Super Miata Zeta suspension really does a good job. So obviously, this car is far from stock. It took a lot of work, blood, sweat, and tears to get here, and money. What do you think about, like, so all in, I'm sure you spent at least, what, 15K on this thing?
Sure.
So at that price range, what can you get for that price? Like, that's the thing, like nowadays, you can't get a nice BRZ S2000 350Z for really under 15K. That's for like a really beat up one. It used, like the saying used to go, buy the best car that you can afford. But nowadays with the prices of cars going so ridiculous, it's getting harder and harder to afford those cars. But if I'm not mistaken, I haven't checked recently, but haven't the values of Miatas skyrocketed as well?
Yeah. I got this for $4,700.
Like 6 years ago?
Yeah. And you cannot find a clean one for like under six or seven.
Under 6 or 7. So at least 50% appreciation. I mean, even if you found one for 7, I think that's still a pretty good buy. Because if you're willing to put in the blood, sweat, and tears as you have, you can turn this thing into a seriously fun and capable car. If someone out there had a Miata or wanted to buy a Miata and wanted to do all this stuff to it to make it a track car, what are like the 3 or 4 things you would tell them to keep in mind from personal experience?
Upgrade the car with your driving ability.
Yes.
Yeah, work on grip first, get seat time, and then go for it. Add power. It does not ruin the Miata experience.
I really like the chassis setup. Suspension surprisingly feels really good out here on this very bumpy road. Okay, well, this has been a quick little canyon review of turbocharged NA Miata, but this has been a super fun experience. Let me know what you guys think about building an old Miata up to the point that Sean has built this one. Do you think there's a better car out there that you can get on the market now for the same price out of the box? Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
No matter how you look at it, this MX-5 means business. It's the first NA Miata I've driven that I believe would give an S2000 or 986 Boxster a hard time around a track, which shouldn't be a surprise given the sheer amount of time, money, and energy Sean has poured into it. But the true test still awaits. When the time comes, I'll have to wring its neck out on the track and see if the lap times justify the investment.